What is up, YouTube? It is Drex and I am back with another video. Now before I get started, if you're new to my channel, please make sure you like this video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you subscribe to my channel for more awesome content in the future. But nevertheless, let's get started. I also want to shout out Professor Joe Casey. Big shout out to him. I'm going to link his channel in the description below. Go over there and subscribe to him for more awesome content. He does a lot of retro game collecting and modern game collecting. He also got videos giving you pointers on how to get good deals on games as well. So if you're into retro game collecting and whatnot, go ahead and show the brothers some support and go subscribe to his channel. Launch games are as old as gaming consoles themselves. After all, these launch games have helped define a new generation for each and every console, each and every time. However, the role of launch games have changed quite a bit over time, and their significance behind a system's success or failure has come into question over the last 10-15 years. But today, we're not here to talk about that. I just want to share my favorite launch title games on each and every console. They are not in any specific order, but I hope you enjoy them. What is it not to say about Soulcalibur? This is one of the first fighting games that started giving games like Mortal Kombat, Tekken, even though Namco made Tekken. But it started giving me a lot of other fighting platformers a run for its money, and is one of the top launch titles that I enjoyed the most on the Dreamcast. Now, it's not my #1 favorite, but when we're talking about launch titles, yes, Soulcalibur ranks the #1 high, next to Hydro Thunder and Blue Stinger. But nevertheless, you know, what is it not to say about Soulcalibur, besides the fact that it is a sequel to Soul Blade on PlayStation 1, but introduced new techniques and fighting methods, techniques along with weapons. Altered Beast helped shape me as a gamer. I absolutely love this game. I remember my cousin actually gave this game to me as a gift one day because he got tired of playing it. I remember when I first played it, I actually got scared of it because I was fighting zombies at first. I think I was more so creeped out with the guy who summoned me, because like hearing "rise from your grave" was very creepy at the time in 16-bit. But nevertheless, I loved the hell out of this game. I actually used to die on purpose just to hear the New Jack Swing game over music. But I love the hell out of Altered Beast. I actually finally beat it for the first time about 7 years ago. But man, it gave me a run for my money. But I love the hell out of Altered Beast, and it is one of the #1 launch games that I enjoy the hell out of. I understand it was a an arcade port. However, what makes me sad about this game is the fact that I never got a chance to play it co-op with anyone. So that means I never even got a chance to play a 2-player with my cousin. I didn't realize that the game was 2-player until I was 13 years old when I had loaded it up into my Genesis. But none of my friends at the time were interested in retro games. They were only interested in newer games. So it is what it is. Maybe someday I'll get a chance to play it 2-player with my son or someone else in the future. How could I not mention Rayman? Though I don't like the direction that the current games are going in, I still love Rayman, and I think this game is important for all PlayStation 1 owners, or if you actually played it on Game Boy Advance, because I know this game was actually ported on the Game Boy Advance. I mean, you have to understand, this is like the #1 important platformers to play. I love the hell out of platformers, and Rayman made me love them 10 times more than what they were. Later on, when we got games like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon, I love those even more. I think that's why I actually still play games like Ratchet and Clank, even though they might be considered kids games. But even on my Xbox Game Pass account, I still buy platformer games, and you know, I'm currently playing Psychonauts 2 right now. So I always have a love for platformers, and I always love Rayman. A lot of people have owned this game. I actually had a buddy who told me he ended up buying 2 copies, one that was sealed and the other one he can just play casually with scratches on it. But nevertheless, Rayman, it is one of the important PlayStation 1 games, and it was a launch title, so it's shaped a lot of childhoods. How could I not mention Smuggler's Run? In my heart, this game was like the spiritual successor to Road Rash 64, because I think we didn't get any more Road Rash games ever since. But I love the hell out of Smuggler's Run. It's actually one of the first launch titles I played on the PlayStation 2, next to the Tekken Tag Tournament, which I personally feel the PlayStation port of that game was a lot better. But nevertheless, getting into Smuggler's Run, it was so much crazy stuff you can do, and I just felt like I had like the whole world in my hands playing that. I remember spending 2 hours in the hotel I shared with my brother, because it was actually his console I was playing on in his game. I spent 2 hours of my eyes glued to that screen trying to beat the game, and I just had a hell of a time. Eventually my brother just had to come in and play 2-player with me because he got tired of me playing on his console. But yeah, we had a great time. Man, miss those days. Super Mario World was definitely going on this list. Now, though I love the hell out of Sonic the Hedgehog, I love the hell out of Super Mario World the same. I mean, listen, this game has brought the best out in me. Though I beat it several times, I've always gone back and I always was curious to discover levels I missed out on and secrets that I missed. So I'm almost a 30-year-old man, and I'm still trying to discover things I've missed out on this game. And I mean, what else is to say? This game also came with the Super Nintendo console when you bought it day one. So I have nothing bad to say about Super Mario World. It is an important launch game, and that is why it's on this list. It would have been an absolute crime had I not mentioned Halo Combat Evolved. I mean, this is actually where I got first introduced to the Xbox Live atmosphere. Now, granted, before it was called Xbox Live, it was just the online features. And I recall going to a friend's house in elementary school and playing it, and man, was I blown away. I always felt like games like GoldenEye, Doom, Quake Arena, Half-Life, I always felt those games were the only ones that could satisfy me in the first-person shooter area. But man, when I got on Halo, I was hooked. And I remember when we went over to middle school, he ended up getting Halo 2 day one, the limited edition case, the mess steel case, and I wanted that case so badly. I eventually ended up getting it. But we had a lot of good times playing that on Xbox Live. Had the best time of my life in the 4-player split screen as well when we had 2 other buddies around. But nothing else to say about Halo Combat Evolved. I remember it was actually one of the first games where it made me emotional, seeing a lot of NPCs die. This game, when you play through the storyline, is very dark. I understand it might be strange to some that a Disney game is a launch title. However, Tarzan Untamed was a launch title for the Nintendo GameCube. Though I did not play this port as much, I played the PlayStation 2 port a lot more frequently whenever I got a chance to rent the game from Blockbuster. I enjoyed this game a lot. It actually felt like it made up for the original Tarzan game that was based off of the movie that came out in the late 90s, because there was a lot of limitations on it. With this one, it didn't hold back when it came to doing stunts and swinging from vines, surfing, whether it came from sky falling, water plunge, and whatnot. I love the hell out of this game. I feel like it's an important game to play. The story is kind of cliche to me. It actually kind of reminds me of Aladdin, Nazira's Revenge. The story isn't all the way there, and the ending isn't all the way there, but it's still fun as hell to play, and I love this one the most, and that's why I chose it for one of my favorite launch titles. Now, Even though the Sega Saturn was a failed console here in North America, it's still one of my favorite consoles in the Sega market. But I can't help but not mention Panzer Dragoon. The Panzer Dragoon games helped shape my childhood as well, and I love the hell out of all of them, including Saga, even though I'm not a big fan of that one, but I still have love for it. But Panzer Dragoon blew me away when I first played it. And I remember like thinking to myself, this is amazing. I never played a rail shooter like this ever in my life. The visuals are amazing. Like, I know people are going to say, well, they didn't age pretty well. And yeah, they didn't, to be fair about it. But at the time, I was so amazed with what this console had to offer along with this game, and like seeing everything come at you. Like, I was amazed with the enemies, I was amazed with the character you play as, along with the dragon that you're riding. It's just an amazing game overall, and I always feel like I feel when I'm a child whenever I put in Nights into Dreams and Panzer Dragoon on the Sega Saturn. This is definitely one of the best launch titles of the Sega Saturn series, along with the most important Sega Saturn game, period. So that's why I have it on my list. Oh man, was this one tough. I actually wanted to mention Star Wars Shadows of the Empire because I played the hell out of that one too. But to be very fair about it, I played the hell out of Turok the most. So that's why I put Turok on the list. It was one of the best launch titles. Now, I did hear somewhere that this game was delayed, so it might not be considered a launch title. But if so, please let me know in the comments. But I believe this was a launch title, and if it isn't, I'll correct myself on it. But I love the hell out of Turok the most. I can't explain how many times I enjoyed playing this game through the story mode, the multiplayers. I think Turok 2 is where I enjoyed the hell out of multiplayers the most, where I used the hell out of the raptor, and he made that annoying noise every time I clawed somebody or ripped somebody to shreds. But yeah, there's nothing but positive things to say about Turok. I wish they would bring this game back. I think they tried back in the mid 2000s, but I don't think that game was too successful like it should have been, or like it could have been, but that doesn't matter. I'm a big fan of the Turok comics, and I'm a big fan of the Turok series. I hope that something is released in the future, but if you haven't played this on Nintendo 64, you don't know what you're missing out on. Please give it a chance, and other than that, yeah. Boy, this was another hard one for me as well. Now, last but not least, Cameo makes the list for one of my favorite Xbox 360 launch titles. Now, granted, we did get Condemned Criminal Origins, and I played the hell out of that one too, just as much as Cameo. But I had to choose Cameo more because I think I had a lot more fun playing Cameo than I did Condemned Criminal Origins. But I'm not saying which one is better. I'm just saying which one I had the most fun on and which one I enjoyed the most. And like I said before, I'm a sucker for platformers, but I enjoyed this one the most. It was actually pretty amazing seeing Rare making games for Xbox after Conker's Bad Fur Day. But you know, they had 360 really had a very nice lineup of games when they first came out. Rare came out with 2 games, Perfect Dark Zero, and which a lot of people talk a lot of crap about that game, which I enjoy regardless, and Cameo Elements of Power. So yeah, nothing too much to say about this. There's so much you can do in this. You can play as like 4 different characters. There's so much to explore in this game. Navigate around. You can actually get this as part of the Rare Replay game that came out about 5-6 years ago. So if you're on the Xbox One or Xbox Series X, you can definitely get your hands on that now if you want to play it. But definitely worth the pickup, worth the try. I definitely enjoy this game, and if you're into platformers like I am, definitely don't sleep on this one. Well, that's it for my list of my favorite launch titles. Please let me know in the comments what your favorites are, and make sure you like and subscribe to my channel for more awesome content in the future. Other than that, this is Drex, and I am out.